sobriety for Aaron was about as likely as becoming Prime Minister. More than once over the subsequent 2 years, I wondered whether many of the judges who ordered a year of sobriety for my clients would be able to do it themselves. One of the most vicious stereotypes settler Australia has created is the drunken Aborigine, which functions as a way to blame dispossessed people for the decades, centuries of trauma heaped upon them. With the year-long sobriety conditions they impose on people like Aaron, courts perpetuate this stereotype by setting them up to fail. Judges see a sad parade of people being forced to court for breaching some order by drinking. They form prejudices and have them confirmed again and again. By the time I met him, Aaron was on 2 suspended prison sentences, with a long list of rules he had to obey. Many judges, prosecutors, and members of the public believe this is leniency and consistent with the Deaths in Custody Royal Commission's recommendations, but many clients tell me they actually prefer prison to the year-long surveillance of suspended sentences and other community-based orders. The surveillance is both inconstant, which creates confusion, and oppressive. Aaron has now been in the community surveillance hamster wheel for a year and a half. As well as the assault charge, police had also named Aaron on an Alcohol Protection Order, APO, banning him from drinking, buying, or even possessing any alcohol for 3 months. Any breach of the APO's conditions would also be a crime, itself punishable by up to 3 months' prison. It was an entirely superfluous order. Both suspended sentences already included conditions banning him from drinking, controversially introduced by the single-term Country Liberal Party government 4 years earlier. APOs were modelled on domestic violence orders, DVO. Once they were made, breaching their conditions became a crime. But unlike DVOs, which can be made on an interim basis by police but must be confirmed by courts, APOs could be written up by police alone. Experts decried the absurdity of criminalising alcohol dependency. Naja predicted, correctly, that APOs would be used primarily against Aboriginal people. The NT Court of Appeal, constituted by 3 white judges, disagreed that APOs were racist. Aaron is sitting in the cells today because he'd been arrested overnight. It was now 2 weeks before his new spot at Vendale was due to open up. A close family member died, so Aaron drank. Why? Asking a person dependent on or addicted to alcohol, "Why did you drink?" is always a nonsensical question. There will always be reasons. Perhaps it's about numbing the grief, or peer pressure, or habit. None will ever be good enough to satisfy the judge who asks. While drunk, Aaron was walking along one of Catherine's main streets. He stumbled into a group of white teenagers who were also drunk. They swore at him, he swore back at them, pushed one of them, yelled loudly, suggested they fight, wobbled onto the road so that a passing car had to stop, and kept walking. So did they. He was breaking the law by being intoxicated, and perhaps also by being disorderly. On another night, in another place, he might have continued home and slept it off. But this was Catherine. One of the first things visitors notice about the town, indeed anywhere in the Territory, is the sheer number of police patrols. Across the Northern Territory, there are 2.6 times as many police officers per head of population than the national average. Inside the car that stopped in front of Aaron were 2 white police constables. They arrested him, locked him in the cage on the tray of their police utility, and took him to the police station where he spent the rest of the night in a cell to sober up in accordance with 19th century practice before being taken to court the next morning. That's when we meet in the cells. It takes a few minutes to do the maths, but I eventually work out that Aaron has just under 3 months left to serve on the first suspended sentence and just under 4 months left to serve on the second. The law in the Northern Territory demands that anyone who breaches a suspended prison sentence must serve the rest of the sentence in a prison unless a judge believes it would be unjust to do so in view of all the circumstances. I look again at the new charges. Breach APO, behave disorderly. Minor in anyone's language. No violence, no property damage. Aaron is young. He obviously has a problem with alcohol. He has a spot at Vendale coming up in a fortnight. Surely, in view of all the circumstances, any judge would think it unjust to restore nearly 7 months' prison because a young man got drunk and a bit disorderly after his uncle died. Had I been in Victoria, maybe. But in the Northern Territory, I'm not so sure. Colleagues have warned me that the judge sitting in Catherine today is a harsh sentencer. I explained to Aaron the risks of pleading guilty today. I want time to talk to prosecutors.